Palkia is this entity of space that is symbolized with pearls. They have the ability to generally control space, as well as rip space itself at you. They're also one of the powerful beings centralized in the mythology of the Sinnoh region. Space has to have existed prior to Palkia existing, because without space there is no place to exist. But Palkia very much existed as soon as space came into being, as well as a few other Pokemon. They use their power over space to constantly expand the universe. The more space is created, the more powerful they get, and thusly the faster they can then expand space. What space expands into is currently unknown, but there are people who have reported going into a strange world where physics don't exactly work as they should. So it's very possible that space expands into the distortion world, that of which is already infinite due to the blatant disregard of physics already shown by the distortion world. Palkia is able to manipulate space in such a way because they're of the fourth dimension. They can fold parts of space to meet each other, which is the concept of wormholes. They can build extra space in certain places to make them take longer to travel through, and vice versa, meaning they can also shrink space to make it take less time to travel through. That's actually kind of what's happening when Palkia uses Spatial Rend, except instead of shrinking space with it, they entirely remove the space altogether. That is very dangerous if you happen to be where the Spatial Rend is, but it's not really a threat even if you visit the ripped space area right after it's ripped. Think of it this way, if you throw a ball and then have Palkia use Spatial Rend in the path of the ball, the space the ball is going to go through is now gone. So where does it go? It goes past the area entirely, effectively teleporting the ball forward if you're observing from the side and have the ability to see where the Spatial Rend is. Eventually, any space ripped by Palkia will heal because Palkia always expands space anyways, but that doesn't fix the really scary part of Spatial Rend. If you are hit with this Spatial Rend, congratulations. You were just hit with the only thing that can actually destroy matter and energy. Needless to say, you just disappear. You are gone. Bye-bye. Though now that I think of it, maybe that's how all the stuff in the distortion world got there. Maybe if Palkia hits you with Spatial Rend, you're deported from reality and now have to live in the distortion world like Cyrus. Put quite simply, never, ever do anything to anger them. It won't end well. That is because